TikTok versus YouTube. Which platform is the best, and where should you be building your video future? We're going to talk about that today on Owen Video. Owen Video! Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Owen Video, and if this is your first time here, I am a YouTube growth coach and the founder of the Video Marketing School, where you can download tons of on-demand video trainings that will teach you how to become a video influencer. I'm going to compare TikTok and YouTube today using 5 basic category distinctions, including content strategy, demographics, discoverability, market power, and monetization, okay? So we want to look at TikTok versus YouTube in those perspectives and see who emerges as the winner. And I want to let you know, this whole thing started with a very interesting stat that I noticed when I was going through my analytics. So take a look at this stat right here. When I was comparing my own TikTok channel to my marriage advice channel on YouTube, I noticed that the best video on my marriage advice channel had 19,000 views, and the best video on my TikTok channel had 1.4 million views. Okay, now the YouTube video, that accumulated 1,800 hours of watch time in 2 years. But the TikTok video has accumulated 2,640 hours of watch time in just 3 months. So, wow, these numbers are neck and neck. And if I can get just as many watch time hours in 3 months on TikTok, then why would I continue to build a YouTube channel? That's what we need to discuss today and discover which of these platforms is truly worth your time and which of these platforms is yesterday's potatoes. Videos on TikTok also have a shorter lifespan. For example, this video right here got 1.4 million views in 3 months, but it's kind of fizzled off. It's not really getting any more views nowadays. Whereas this video on YouTube actually gets more views now than it did in the first 3 months. So the content strategy on TikTok and YouTube really set the path for the psychology you have with your viewer and also how much lifespan your video has. So let's dig into our analysis today by first examining the content strategy. Now on TikTok, TikTok is largely a short form vertical platform, which means, you watch the videos in the tall mode here, and the videos that you upload are under a minute. That means that your viewers at best are only watching for a minute, and this is crucial because it means that the watch time, the hours that you're accumulating are really spread out over a large number of people watching for very small amounts of time. And I want you to think about that and how that kind of correlates into your own life, because we all sort of have friends that we see often for just a second. I would even say like the banker or the Starbucks barista, right? You see him every day for like a second. And how deep is that relationship, right? How much influence do you really have there in moving your Starbucks barista to buy a product from you? Maybe you have some, right? Because you've been going there for 3 years. But on YouTube, it's a different type of platform. YouTube is still largely a widescreen, sort of traditional, wide mode platform, although that is changing more and more every single day. And the top performing YouTube channels are getting watch time of somewhere around 20 minutes. But your videos on YouTube could be up to an hour. In fact, YouTube is the platform where people go to binge watch on video. YouTube is really no different than a Hulu or a Netflix. And so as you're getting watch time on YouTube, your viewers are spending multiple minutes with you. It's going to be less people, longer watch time sessions. And again, think about your relationships. Think about, these people that you see maybe not so often, but you spend days at a time with them. You go on vacations together. Like my family, I only see them a couple times a year, but we spend weeks and weeks together. So I bring up that analogy so that you can compare your relationship with the viewers according to the content strategy. With TikTok, you're gonna have a familiar but not deep relationship with your viewers. Whereas on YouTube, you're more likely to experience a deeper relationship with your viewers because they're watching for longer periods of time. Now, the other part of the content strategy is that for me, it takes me usually like an hour to make a TikTok video that will get millions of views on it. YouTube's a little bit different. In order to crank out a 10 to 15 minute video on YouTube, I've got like 20 minutes of prep, maybe a good half hour, 40 minutes of filming, and then I hire an editor who completes the rest of that task. So it's a much more expensive venture that I'm paying for the deeper relationship. I want you to really, really understand that, because your production time and your ability to get attention quickly, advantage TikTok, right? YouTube is going to take a little bit more elbow grease to get the same type or a better relationship from your viewers. Who do you think wins in terms of content strategy? Do you think TikTok or YouTube wins? Let me hear from you in the comment section. The next category we want to dig into are the demographics. And this is pretty key, okay? Because TikTok has a reputation for being very popular with teens, and it is. In fact, the largest demographic on YouTube is 13 through 24-year-olds. Okay, that 10-year gap there, 11-year gap, 13 through 24-year-olds represent over 70% of the app's user base. So TikTok way skews younger, and there are some advantages there, right? Younger viewers are looking for entertainment and trending stuff, which I think makes content creation a little bit easier. On YouTube, 18 through 24-year-olds are the target. So TikTok has this whole other 5-year younger user base, and that's super key. But on YouTube, the audience is similar. But what's more interesting is the buying power of the minorities. Here's what I mean by that. So the buying power in the United States today exists in the 50+ crowd. Okay, and I'm even really being gracious with the 50+, because it's really like the 55+ crowd. It's the boomers, it's the seniors. They have tons of money. They own the houses, they own the businesses, and this is really key because more boomers are using YouTube than are using TikTok. Okay, on TikTok, boomers represent like 10%, 15% of the user base. Whereas on YouTube, they're not the primary user base. Boomers aren't the primary user base, they're a minority, but they represent a stronger amount than on TikTok. When you combine that with the buying power of the boomers, it makes YouTube a very powerful place. So there's a strong monetization advantage that YouTube has over TikTok because of the spending power of the older demographic. Let me bring up Snapchat here as a quick example. The reason that Snapchat did not take off is because they had a young user problem. The users of these apps are like 13, 14 years old, and there's no spending power. They have allowance, right? Their parents buy everything for them. So these brands that advertise, which monetizes the app and makes it sustainable and encourages influencers to get involved and for celebrities to get involved and for the app to grow, this is all based on the ability to attract advertisers. And 13-year-olds attract, Teen Vogue or maybe like Target, right? These Starbucks, these high-level advertisers, but it doesn't really incentivize more advertisers to come on to get an ROI from their investment. So the advantage here on demographics, I think, definitely goes to YouTube in terms of buying power, but TikTok has a really strong advantage here in the younger demographic, and this is what motivates me to be on TikTok, is that there's a younger user base there. So my goal there is to get in with that younger user base and become a trusted influencer in their lives, and then be able to take that user base wherever I want to go in the future, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on Netflix or wherever else we decide to continue creating video. And that brings us to step number 3, discoverability. Let's take a look at where is it easier for you to get discovered? Is it going to be on TikTok or is it going to be on YouTube? Now, on TikTok, there is no search function. In fact, it's almost entirely artificial intelligence driven, okay? The algorithm on TikTok drives almost everything. This is actually true on YouTube as well, but I'm gonna get to that in a quick second. TikTok serves you content in the For You page, where the algorithm is telling you what it thinks you would like to see, and it's incredibly accurate. But you also have the following tab on your TikTok page here, where you can go and watch videos from people that you're following, okay? Those are the primary 2 ways that you're gonna find content on TikTok. At the end of the day, you wanna show up in someone's For You page. Now, from the analysis that we have done on the TikTok algorithm, which, by the way, you can watch that video up here if you wanna see it, we've noticed that the TikTok algorithm really responds to engagement on the video and sharing the video. So commenting and sharing. Like, I know a video is gonna take off if I get a ton of comments, within an hour of it being released. That's a really good indicator of that. But sharing is also important too. So here's the thing. I really like the TikTok algorithm because if you follow what the algorithm wants, it's really easy to show up in the For You page. I think that the TikTok algorithm forces you to make good content, whereas YouTube, a lot of creators are very, very search focused. And search is not a bad thing, but I think it's a scary thing on YouTube, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're making video content based on what Google or Keywords Everywhere is telling you to make content for, then it sort of is this empty suit of a channel, right? It's like you don't really have your own thoughts. You just kind of like take what's out there and you try to fit into it. I think that develops a really bad habit. Even if you're going after search on YouTube, you also need to be creating original content that relies on the YouTube suggested algorithm to get it discovered. Now, this is much harder to do on YouTube. Let's take a look at YouTube's discoverability. Starting with search. We've talked about search already, but search is actually less than 10% of all of YouTube, okay? The suggested algorithm getting recommended by YouTube is really where most video views on YouTube come from. Now, if your video isn't watchable, you're not gonna rank on search very long, and you certainly aren't gonna get recommended. And so that's where I feel like search can be a little deceptive, because you're going after these keywords and you're relying on the magicness of the keyword to get you found. Really what you need to rely on is the watchability of the video. Also on YouTube, in order to get discovered, you need to have great looking thumbnails or high performing thumbnails. And I feel like this is essential on YouTube for getting your video found. If you don't have a strong click-through rate on YouTube, it's gonna be hard to get discovered. And I think that this is a real burden compared to TikTok, because TikTok doesn't have any kind of thumbnail scenario. When you go onto YouTube, it's all thumbnails. You know, without a thumbnail, you're severely, risking not getting clicked and destroying your video's ability to get into the algorithm. Look, I like thumbnails and I make thumbnails, and it's kind of fun to make thumbnails that do really well, but the fact that you have to make them, I think puts an additional burden on YouTube's discoverability, which is why, I think that YouTube is more of an elite sort of practice, you know what I mean? Like only the best break through on YouTube, right? Whereas on TikTok, I think it's easier to get sort of a breakaway hit like I did. We got a breakaway hit on TikTok, but we did have to follow that up, and we were able to do that because I think we're pretty good at video creation. Okay, so thumbnails are a burden to the creator, but at the same time, they act as sort of a gate so that you really have to be a phenomenal, well-rounded video creator to get past the gatekeepers of the YouTube algorithm. So at the end of the day, I think that it's much harder to get discovered on YouTube. I think that on TikTok, you can have a breakout hit today. You make one hit and it hits that algorithm, it will break out. Now, what's that gonna do for you in terms of longevity? I think that's the thing that you really need to think about. And when YouTube finds your audience, you have a very powerful monetized army. When TikTok finds your audience, you get like a serotonin burst and an ego boost, but that could all be gone the moment you upload your next TikTok. So keep those things in mind. Next, I want to talk about market power and who has more power in the marketplace. Okay, so TikTok. First of all, everyone is talking about TikTok right now. They said they were going to ban TikTok. India did ban TikTok. The White House got involved and Trump got involved, which, by the way, I talked about on Twitter. I wrote an article about it. I did a video on it, and I was 100% correct. In fact, my good friend Jessica Hatch, who has a big YouTube channel and a big TikTok channel, she noticed this, and in one of our private groups on Facebook, she said this: Owen has been right the whole time. She said, Owen, I'm just gonna listen to you when it comes all this TikTok stuff. Look, they're never gonna ban TikTok, okay? There might be some, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, but it's never gonna happen. It's way too powerful from a monetization standpoint, and everybody wants to get a piece. Look, TikTok is owned by ByTEDANCE, the most powerful privately held company in the world. The CEO of TikTok is a former Disney executive. Imagine what they had to pay him to get him to leave Disney and come to TikTok. That is super, super powerful. On top of that, you have all this recognizability, right? So I go home and I'm talking to my dad and my mom and the other, sort of like boomers in my family. And I'm like, have you guys seen our TikToks, right? And they all kind of said to me, well, isn't TikTok this or isn't TikTok that? I was like, look, just go download it right now. So right there in my dad's living room, like 6 people downloaded TikTok for the first time. That is how powerful the TikTok name is right now. So the fact that everyone's talking about it is very, very powerful. In addition to that, TikTok users are spending 52 minutes per day on the platform, whereas on Facebook, it's like 40 minutes a day. That's a huge difference. It's something to think about, which, by the way, helps you to know that these other social media platforms, they want to see a TikTok ban. Make no mistake about it. They would love to see a TikTok ban, and there's reasons for that. But consider also that on top of this looming ban, Instagram is introducing a new Reels, is what it's called, like a TikTok competitor. Just so you know, it's total weak sauce. It doesn't even compare. Like, to say that Instagram Reels is even like TikTok, like the only thing that's similar about it is that they're short form portrait videos. TikTok is like having a video studio in your pocket. It's not even the same thing, and it's a long way from being the same thing. My point is, though, is that there is a lot of stuff coming at TikTok, and yet they are strong. They've got a $1 billion creator fund, and in the midst of all of this ban stuff, they've barely even mentioned it. Their community manager made a statement that's like, we're not going anywhere, but that's about it. And I'll tell you, a company that's not, it's kind of like brushing that off. They sound pretty powerful. Now, let's compare that to YouTube, okay? YouTube was the very first company to introduce like online streaming in a majorly marketable way, right? YouTube was the first online platform to include like a presidential debate in 2008. For any of you guys that remember, that was groundbreaking for that to happen. Live streaming. YouTube is owned by Alphabet, the parent company to Google. The number 2 search engine in the world is YouTube. The number 1 engine is Google, which is owned by the same company. So look, when it comes to powerhouse, I'll say this. TikTok has a lot in its favor, right? There's a lot of really powerful information and powerful sort of recognition happening with TikTok right now, but it just doesn't hold a candle to what YouTube is. YouTube is a global political force, man. Like, YouTube is so much bigger. Really, TikTok, I think it's gonna take TikTok a while and a few hurdles to get to the same type of prestige and clout that YouTube is at. So we have to remember Snapchat, right? Snapchat, I think, was very, very close to TikTok when they first came out, and I think that TikTok has learned a lot from all of Snapchat's failures, which, by the way, I did very well on Snapchat and saw the writing on the wall and got off of that platform. Not because I think it's gonna crash and burn, it's still around. A lot of my little cousins use it, but it's really just like a platform for younger kids, and it's not really so much as a media platform. You know, I don't know if you guys remember, but when Snapchat first came out, like the Kardashians announced that they were gonna do a show on Snapchat. It never materialized. That's the opposite of what's happening on TikTok. We're seeing way more power from TikTok than we ever did with Snapchat. Still, you could combine those, double them, and it's still not the power that YouTube has. So, you know, again, we're seeing that YouTube is just, at the end of the day, brute force powerful. Okay, monetization. Which platform is it gonna be easier for you to monetize on, okay? So let's go into TikTok. First of all, TikTok just released sort of this new monetization creator space that was at first invite only, and I didn't get invited. Bastards. But I'm working my way up to it because now you can get invited with 100,000 followers or more. You'll get an invite to join the Creator Studio. Now, I feel like this Creator Monetization Studio is awesome because I helped one of my good friends, DJ Hunts. He's got 2 million followers on TikTok. I helped him get a brand deal that was worth a couple $1,000s. And he seems to be just like getting brand deals all the time now. And so I really like that they're making brand deals easy. But again, I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna stack up to YouTube because at the end of the day, YouTube owns monetization. Not only are there a bunch of different ways to monetize YouTube, there's a bunch of different ways to monetize the bunch of different ways. For example, AdSense is one way that you can make money on YouTube. That's where videos play, like ads play in front of your videos, right? This is kind of like when you talk about making money on YouTube, this is what people are talking about. But even with AdSense, it's like in-stream ads, skippable ads, non-skippable ads, mid-roll ads, post-roll ads. You get to choose where the ads go, and that's, I think, really, really powerful. Now, beyond that, you've also got brand deals. And even though YouTube doesn't necessarily have, I mean, they have a brand deal program. It's not something that I hear a lot of my creator friends really talking about, you know? so much. It's there, but brand deals are well respected and sort of common in the agency world. So in like the world of Mattel and Nabisco and these big companies, they know how to do brand deals. And so those agencies are reaching out to YouTubers individually. They don't need YouTube to connect them, okay? So brand deals are a phenomenal way to make money on your YouTube channel. But YouTube also lets you sell merch. You can sell t-shirts on your channel. YouTube also has memberships. You can monetize memberships. You can also post affiliate links. You know, my good friends, Sean Cannell and Justin Brown, like they make a ton of money, multiple thousands of dollars every single year from posting Amazon links in video description boxes. So, you know, I think that TikTok is figuring out monetization, and it's cool that people are making money there. But at the end of the day, like YouTube owns monetization, and you can make money lots of different ways on YouTube, even with no audience. I've got one of my clients is named Rich Sparks, and he's a real estate agent. He uses YouTube to upload his listing videos. And when he sells a house, you know, he's gonna make 15, 20 grand. And what happens is he makes these videos, shares them out with his email list and on Facebook. And when someone buys that house, he makes $15,000, $20,000. And in that regard, he has monetized YouTube. Could you do that? Would you buy a $400,000 house that you saw from a 1-minute video on TikTok? I'd love to hear your answers in the comment section, because maybe you would. Maybe you would. And if you would, I would love to hear from you, because I certainly wouldn't. I bought a couple houses in my time. I want to walk through that baby. I want to like pound my fists on the walls a few times and bring this thing to a close. So in the end, I think YouTube versus TikTok, YouTube comes out as the career winner. It's just a powerhouse. But TikTok is a great app. You should not be ignoring TikTok. It's not gonna go away. It's not gonna get banned. And you should be building a channel on TikTok. And here's why. You should be learning the TikTok algorithm, because even if TikTok's not around in 5 years, the algorithm will be. The psychology and the math that makes up the AI for TikTok is revolutionary. It's so intuitive. If you haven't played with it, play with TikTok. And I think you're gonna see that like, it's really reading your mind, and it's really showing you content that you really like. The other apps are gonna start developing this type of algorithm. So even if TikTok's not around in 5 years, for whatever reason, maybe they can't figure out monetization, the algorithm will be around. And so you need to practice making videos that will attract the AI. The other part of that is that TikTok is hot right now. You should be making gains on TikTok while you can. If it wasn't for TikTok, I never would have started a comedy channel. And because I've started a comedy channel, I'm now re-engaging in my marriage channel, because families are becoming a new audience for me in addition to YouTube creators. So that has opened up a whole new world of monetization for me and my wife. We've even attracted $30,000 from an investor who wants to help us grow our new channel, because he sees the monetization opportunities in this new audience. That never would have happened if I didn't start on TikTok. So if I were you, I would put my money and my effort and my time into YouTube and building out a platform there, and then building TikTok on the side, making gains, learning how it works, and then maybe even applying some of those techniques to your YouTube videos, and vice versa. There's no reason to have to choose one or the other. Hey, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, just click on this video right here. I'll go into TikTok in a little bit more detail, how the algorithm works and how I've been able to use it to get millions of views. So watch that video now. I'm Owen, and I'll see you there.